And that's where we start this evening. I'm delighted to have Ian Mansell and Pete Young in studio as we discuss yesterday's happening in Croke Park. You're very welcome.
Thanks, Tim.
First of all, Ian, what's it like being manager and part of a management team that have brought an All-Ireland title to Kerry?
First, Tim, I suppose I'm very privileged to be in charge of...
Did I see Ian Mansell? I should have said Ian Brick, shouldn't I?
Maybe, sure I am.
I think we're all tired after yesterday.
No problem. Just very privileged to be in charge of a fantastic bunch of girls, and who worked so hard during the year, and it was our number one target, I suppose, at the very start of the year when we set out in January, and it's just fantastic that we achieved that. But look, I have a fantastic team around me, backroom team as well, and not just in the management but the county board have been superb as well, and as well as that, the clubs in North Kerry have been very helpful as well, that offering us their grounds and so on and facilities, so it's been a huge North Kerry community,
real teamwork.
Absolutely.
Pete Young, you've been there from the outset.
I've been there a pretty long time now, alright. 2007, I kind of got involved that later that year and went from there, and I'm still there at the moment, but it's kind of a pastime really for me, and I enjoy every moment of it, so I had good times and bad times, but yesterday was exceptionally altogether,
And Pete, one thing, and I know we'll go back at, the build-up and you run into this All-Ireland title, but one thing was very evident yesterday, that the delight by both you and Ian Brick, as well as the girls themselves, it's like a family unit.
It is. They're very committed girls, and they're all within a radius, let's say, 3 or 4 miles, and they're like a family really as such, because they're so close and they're meeting so often, and there's a great, spirit between them all, because they're so close together, They socialise a lot as well, so it's a great bonder, and it's a great bonder.
And that definitely came across. Ian, is that the measure of, I suppose, the success of this team, that, when we compare our next door neighbours, Cork, the amount of clubs, probably up in the 20s, 30s, the amount of clubs they have. Likewise, Westmeath, who won the intermediate title yesterday. You're basically speaking about, I know it's pockets in North Kerry, but at the end of the day, it's just one club.
Yeah,
that makes the achievement more remarkable.
I'm not sure. There's pros and cons for that, Tim, really, because just like Pete said, there's definitely more community feel about it, and better spirit, because the girls know each other so well. But it is over North Kerry geographical area. Now, saying that, I suppose what we don't get then, because the girls are such good friends with each other, we don't really get that intensity in our training, because the girls are not going to be flaking each other every night, so that's the downside of it. But I remember we went to a talk there years ago. Brian Cody was giving the speech, and one of the first things he spoke about was having a spirit for Kilkenny hurling, and that's absolutely the most important thing that the girls have. There's this kind of a family feel about it. But look, we're in a great position at the moment, because there's a lot of people working very hard in promoting the game in the county. There's 6 juvenile clubs now. We have 2 young girls coming through, one Kate Lynch from Killarney, an exceptional player who played with Munster on Saturday. She was a very important part of our training squad during the year. But there's 6 clubs now, and from Slieve Lucra, Killarney, Tralee Parnells, Beleaks, Killard and Causeway. And
that's Westmeath structure as well, that they started with the underage side of it, that now they're able to compete, and it isn't too long ago since they won the junior, like yourself.
That's it, and that's the key, and that's what you have to keep developing. And like even Limerick squad yesterday, I think they had 11 minors coming through, and I think the manager might have been criticised by a lot of his own county people for bringing so many young players through. But you just have to keep developing those players, because I suppose it's the success of any team to keep it fresh every year. And that's one side of the game in Kerry that we need to develop.
Ian, how important was that the experience of last year, losing to Dublin? I'm sure there'll be things you could correct from that game, and they knew where to go and where not to go in yesterday's game.
Yeah, it was a huge plus for the girls to have been there last year, of course, and more so the fact that they had been beaten, because as well as they had played, it was one of our better team performances yesterday, and even though we were like when the commentator described it was a 3-point hammering for the girls, but we just couldn't really finish off the game. And look, it was our difficulty all year, just getting those scores. But that definitely stood to them in the last 5-10 minutes, because when we're hitting a lot of wides, I suppose a lot of other teams would have panicked. But they didn't want to go back to where they had been last year, and that heartache and disappointment of the loss, and that definitely stood to them.
That was very evident. Yes, I know we'll be going through it in a while, but I think the intensity by even the pressing up high on the opposition, and that happened yesterday. 2 or 3, you could have the ball in hand and 2 or 3 Kerry players around you, turnover.
Yeah, and we know that was going to be one of the strongest part of our game, because like their strength and conditioning was going to come through, and we'd hoped, we probably took it a bit longer than we had hoped, alright. But it did, we eventually ground them down, and it was that physicality, I suppose, that the girls had brought to the game. And like, I don't know how many hooks and blocks and tackles they got in, but it was absolutely immense. And it was just the work rate, I suppose, all around the pitch. To only concede 8 points in an All-Ireland final, it was fantastic. But like, I suppose it started with our forwards inside, and to be fair to Limerick, they set up in a way that didn't suit us, so they were playing to their strength. But we, I think, just from 1 to 15, the girls worked really, really hard, and that was the secret at the end of the day. Yeah.
Definitely the secret thing. Pete, the importance as well of league games is very important going into. You said to me earlier off air that you played the likes of Westmeath in the league. Right. That can only develop the team. That's all.
I think at the start of the year, our aim was to stay up in the division that we won last year, and to stay up and to go one step further than last year. So we have achieved that, and we were playing the Westmeath, and you played Galway there in the start of the year. They were the 2 teams we played, and they were the 2 teams that played in the intermediate final yesterday. And you kind of put you thinking that you're gradually progressing. Go back to last year, going up to the final, we to more expectation than anything else, and you could see the nerves were there, and we took into Croke Park on the Saturday before the game, and it was great to walk around the stadium the whole lot. But this year it was very relaxed. Everything was.
But you could be overawed by it on the first occasion.
Yeah, it was, and playing in the higher division in the league was a big plus as well, And furthermore, look, Ian, he's alongside me here. Ian gives that lift. You need somebody to give him that extra lift, and Ian did that.
No better man than Ian. But Ian, first of all, how many players have you the luxury of having? How many players available to you?
I suppose yesterday we had a panel of 24. 2 of the girls were injured, so they wouldn't have been able to play. But
are you talking about 30 odd players, people in and out of the panel?
We've had a couple of extra girls in, like I said, 17-year-olds, and a couple of girls, I suppose, who weren't able to commit at various stages during the year. So, possibly 30 max at different stages during the year. But it's only been since the last 2 months, I suppose, really, that we've been able to get them all together because of college and exams, exactly, yeah. And, it's that's what I mean. That's when you're a tight-knit bunch like that, it is difficult to get a little bit more intensity out of them. And I suppose you have to be mindful that because you have a smaller squad, that you can't, I suppose, push them as much as you might like.
Because you need everybody.
For fear of injury, yeah, exactly, yeah. And it's the knocks and bruises and those kind of injuries that you want to try and avoid. So I suppose there's kind of a fine line to try and watch there, alright. But look, it worked out, I suppose.
And for the likes of yourself coming in, you came probably late enough in the season, did you, involved?
It would have been, I suppose, we had our first session maybe early in January, yeah. But I remember we were actually meeting up in Thurles or something at the start of the year, and we met somebody from Kildare, and he said they were back at 2 months, I think. And 6 weeks, I think he said. And I said we were back about 6 days at that stage. So we were behind, but we knew we were. And I suppose it was my fear really at the start that not for the championship, but going into the league, that if we suffered heavy defeats against the likes of Galway and Westmeath, that it would set us back. But from the very first training session, the girls really, really applied themselves and worked hard on and off the pitch in the gym and so on. And it paid off in the end, really, Tim.
Pete, what about the girls that would have, I won't say older, but the more experienced, that have probably been there for a while, going year after year and probably not getting to where the promised land? they must be buying into it as well, with the young girls coming through.
They are, but you have a few girls now that they're settled down and get married, and things can change. And you have girls there with a while, they're there with the last 6-7 years, and it's nice to see young players coming through, because you'll have to develop them for the girls that's coming up to the years they're going to be gone from the scene, But like in saying that, the girls that are coming up to the years, I would say they're very committed and they're actually brilliant. They're brilliant. The display yesterday, it was, you said to yourself you would want them to stay for another year or two, when you're hoping they will, But I think they will, because with this win yesterday, it gives everything a lift. It gives them
it gives the whole county.
It is. And the publicity then was something else, But to come back with Ian was saying there, our biggest thing was the J1. There was some of the girls there on the Saturday, and they were talking about going in J1. And once the league started and we were progressing, the J1 kind of got the back burner then, so we're hoping to stay in the back burner for a long time yet.
Yeah, definitely. Going in at half time, Limerick really came back in those last, I suppose, 5-10 minutes of that first half, because you were pretty dominant before that.
That's right, yeah, it was a funny kind of a game, because we knew that they were going to throw everything at us, obviously, and a young team probably had more pace than us around the pitch, and we knew we were going to have to be patient, and I would have hoped that going in at half time that we would have been able to push on and maybe get the last couple of scores, but it was actually the other way around. And it was a credit to Limerick, how intense their play was. But again, we probably did the same blow in Croke, and at the start of the championship we conceded just before half time, and I think it was pretty much the same frame of mind that we had at half time coming out in the second half, and it just worked again, thankfully.
It's all down to experience. Some of those players involved should be on the line. I should have Niamh Lean, the captain, Olivia Dineen and Michelle Costello. Good evening, girls.
Hello, how are you getting on?
Is that you, Michelle?
This is Olivia.
Olivia, how are you? First of all, heartiest congratulations from everyone here on Terrace Talk.
Thanks so much.
It's been a long journey, especially Pete Young was here from the start, he tells me, with these girls and their development. What is the feeling like today being All-Ireland champions?
It's nothing short of a dream coming true for us. I suppose it's been a really long road. We started training in January with Ian, but I suppose some of us have been on the road since 2011, when Kerry Camogie started up its first adult team. And I suppose this you wouldn't really have believed it would be possible then, but at the start of the year that was our goal, and we're just on top of the world today, waking up.
And what can you say about these two men in the studio with us tonight, Olivia?
What can I say about those two men now? I suppose it's hard really to put it into words, the work and the commitment that they've given. They've pushed their lives on hold. They're committed to it fully. They're giving us 3 and 4 nights a week ever since January, and I suppose we're just ever so grateful to them for all that they've done, I suppose, and everybody involved, the county board behind, and everyone that has been involved since it started.
Yeah, great stuff. Is Michelle there beside you, Olivia?
Yes, I'll just put you on to her there now.
Thanks a million.
Hello.
Hi, Michelle, how are you?
Not too bad now, thank you.
Michelle, the last time I met you, you were a judge in a variety show. You're a lady. You're a lady of many talents.
That's for sure.
How does yesterday go down? I seen you. You were playing cornerback, weren't you? Or in the full back line?
I was numbered a cornerback, but I had a job.
You're going to say you covered every blade of grass in Croke Park, Michelle.
Oh, I don't know. I tried.
You'd be one of those that have been involved with a few years. And we call you probably one of the most experienced players on that band. What's the feeling like, and to get that balance right, having the youth come in, of course coming off the substitute bench, and the youth on the field with you, to get that balance right, that's important?
Yeah, it's very important, I suppose, when you do have that mixture. I suppose you've the younger girls looking up to us, I suppose, for experience and leadership, and then you have those younger girls driving us on in our fitness and our skill and everything like that. So there's a great balance amongst the team. We don't feel old, just to put that out there. That there's a good mixture between us, but the bond between us is fantastic as well. I suppose we get on very well as well, which is a huge thing within a team. And I know, as what people say, we're unique with that, because most of us are coming from one club. with Breed Horn just coming from one, but that gives us, I suppose, one unique thing, that we are a tight knit, and it's great. It's absolutely fantastic, just for the mixture of the experience and the youth as well.
Michelle, do you rule with the iron fist? Of course, you're a teacher as well. Do you bring that sort of discipline to the players?
Sometimes I might have to be called up myself, I suppose, on discipline, but no, look, you have to have discipline with on the field and with training and everything that goes into getting to an All-Ireland final. You need that discipline, and look, we've worked really hard to get here. It's taken, I suppose, like Olivia just said there, the adult team started out in 2011, so it has taken that number of years to get where we are, and I suppose to come back after that huge defeat last year, I suppose the whole hype last year was we were going to play in Croke Park, whereas this year it was we're going to play an All-Ireland final, and I really think it made the huge difference, with us playing there last year. It was surreal then to win it up there this year.
Yeah, definitely so. I take it your captain is beside you there, Niamh Lean.
She is. She's right here beside me, so I'll pass you over. Thank you very much.
No bother at all. Are you there, Niamh?
Hello.
Hi, Niamh.
Hi, how are you?
Niamh, I text you. You don't even text me back. I text you on Friday, and that'll tell you here. I'm telling the lads that must tell you how focused you are. First of all, heartiest congratulations, Niamh. Can you tell me what's it like just to go up there? And I could see the emotions on the field by Pete and Ian and everyone, all your colleagues on the pitch. But what was it like to go up onto that Hogan stand, that presentation area, and lift the cup?
I suppose it's the cliche of it was a complete dream come true for me anyway, and of course with all the other girls as well. It was just unbelievable feeling and experience, and I would love to repeat it again.
And Niamh, that's how important this is, that you're at junior level now. You've sampled that glory. Lots of teams don't ever get the chance, but obviously now you want more.
Oh, of course, and I think that's just a testament to the team. I suppose we're always striving for bigger and better, and I've no doubt that we will come back up into intermediate and strive for bigger and better.
And Niamh, what about all those young girls around the county today? And I take it, and there's an uptake in getting involved in clubs and that. It's absolutely brilliant for them. They want to emulate what you and your players did yesterday.
Of course, yeah, and I suppose the one message I would send to them is just keep at it. It is totally worth it. All the sacrifices you have to make for that one bit of glory, it is so worth it.
And how close are you? Are you teaching the same school as Michelle Costello?
I am. I'm with Michelle over in Ballybunion.
So you're working there for Ian Brick and Pete Young, getting your tactics right, the two of you during the game, I take it?
That's it, yeah. We've been talking about it all week during school.
Great.
But,
and a great bus to go back to that. I take it you had no school today? Or did you go to school
no
today?
No school today. No, we had no school today. Thankfully, we were actually off today. But we had a lovely cake and everything, wishing us best of luck on Friday. So, we're looking forward to the celebrations going back to school.
Niamh, I'll let you back to those celebrations. Well done to yourself and all the girls, of course, and thanks to Olivia Dineen and Michelle Costello and yourself coming on here on Terrace Talk this evening. And brilliant, the whole county is delighted for you.
Thank you so much for having us on. Thank you.
No problem. That was Niamh Lean, the captain yesterday. Lads, for the future, the girls said it there, Ian, the future is bright now. First of all, are you going to stay on?
Oh, that might be my decision anyway, so I suppose we...
But to be a tough man or woman now to tell you that you weren't involved after where you've taken these girls yesterday.
Sport is a funny way of...
Can we get an exclusive here tonight on Terrace Talk? Is Ian Brick and Pete Young staying on, heading for the intermediate final next year?
Oh, I'd
be forcing Ian to stay on anyway if I had my way.
So Ian, if you were asked, would you stay on?
Oh, look, I suppose I don't know, Pete, or Tim, I haven't thought about it, to be honest. Look, all our focus was on...
Would you like to stay on, Ian?
Oh, absolutely. Without a shadow of a doubt. Look, it's been probably the best, 9 months that I've been involved in GA, to be honest, because of the commitment and the dedication that the girls have brought. But it's that camaraderie, I suppose, that they have with each other as well. And like even coming home last night, if I get a chance to say it, that I was absolutely blown away by the homecoming that in Causeway last night. And it's a testament to the community, I suppose, spirit that everybody knows how hard they train and how committed they are, and it's because of them that crowd turned out last night at a late hour even as well. It's not,
and you can't buy that, Ian?
Absolutely not. No.
Pete, can we take it that the two of you are staying on?
Well, I suppose I'm there since...
You're going nowhere anyway.
I went except they want me out. That's the only thing I'd say at the moment.
It definitely won't happen.
But I was there, but I had a daughter involved myself, and she was up to, she was unfortunate she wasn't there yesterday. She took a year out from work and she went with her 4 brothers in Australia. So
you could get those girls back.
She probably will be back next year, but I have 24 adopted daughters. So they were all in Croke Park yesterday.
I'm sure that I could see all the emotional. Lads, it was brilliant having you on Terrace Talk this evening. Well done, Ian Brick. And I think you were they're calling you the X Factor now. They were saying that part of the jigsaw they needed, like Pete was paying you a huge compliment. And Pete, you've been involved for a number of years. I know what it means to you as well. And I think the whole county is behind you today and a massive profile. Thanks a million for coming into Terrace Talk tonight.
No problem, Tim. Thanks.
Thanks, Tim.